takes a while. There it goes.
Hey y'all, how's everybody? Hope all is well with everyone. And welcome one more time to Maximize Monday. It is Monday, the what's today? The
21st?
21st. This month is going by pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, the 21st of July, 2025. Just want to say welcome to you all. Thanks for coming on again. For all those who are new, please do us a favor and type VIP in the chat. We would love to hear from you. And here she go with this high maximizers.
Making a thing, aren't we?
Yes, we make it a thing.
Maximizers.
Our maximize group. um, we appreciate you all for coming on today. We had great service yesterday. If you missed it, go back and check it out.
Yeah.
The spirit has been moving in the worship and all that good stuff and preaching, and it's been a good time. So you want to make sure you check out yesterday's service if you missed it. Also, Bishop's anniversary is this coming Sunday. Right there. Thank you. In the morning, 11 a.m., Bishop James Nelson Jr. will be with us. He came to Power of God that Friday night. Did an awesome job. And of course, Pastor YPJ Miller will be with us on Sunday night at 6 o'clock as we celebrate Bishop's 35th pastoral anniversary. You want to make sure you are in the house, the house. You want to be in the house. Of course, we're sowing into his life, asking for everyone, if you can, to do at least $100 to be a blessing to him. So please do us a favor. Come on out this coming Sunday as we look to celebrate and bless our pastor.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen. And I also do want to encourage people to send a message to Bishop to let him know how much you love and appreciate him.
Yes.
You can do that by visiting our website at gotobethany.com, or you can scan the QR code. Just leave a quick little note to let him know how much you appreciate him, and then we'll show that during service.
Good.
Deadline for that is Friday, so don't wait.
Yes, the deadline is for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out and help us with that endeavor. We'd love for you to join us in that. He would love to hear from you as we celebrate his anniversary. Again, if you haven't done so, please do us a favor and share this if you can. Maximize Monday. We are live here July the 21st, 2025.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how you doing? Yeah, she got the and these called the bump and curl back in the day.
My brother called it the old church lady hair. Before I pulled the curls out a little bit, so a little bit more.
Church lady, dude, that's so fun. Because look, I saw I asked you, did you have the little thing, sponge with the clip on it, and you wrap your you wrap it up at nighttime, put your little cap on, you come out
fresh.
Fresh. Yeah, I forgot you didn't grow up like that. So
I know what you're talking about, though.
I know you know. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Again, welcome all. If you please do us a favor and share this if you can. Transforming Lives Month begins on August, the first Sunday in August.
Yeah.
It is it's 5 Sundays this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. It starts
the third.
The third.
So after the Sunday coming up is the start of Transforming Lives Month.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, we're starting our theme is they're coming from everywhere. That remind me, it's coming from everywhere.
Okay.
We said they came from everywhere. They're coming from everywhere. Invite somebody to church with you. Somebody needs to be saved, rededicate their life, church home. Come on, invite them out in August as we celebrate all those who are coming, because we believe they are coming from everywhere. All righty. We've been talking a lot about leaning into your discomfort. And one of the things that I want to encourage people is to remember, you never know until you try. You really don't. And I think we disqualify ourselves because we've never done something. But how do you know that you can't do it unless you go out there and actually try it and discover that you can actually do it? Now, for those of us who are on the perfectionist side, where you feel like if it's not 100% is failure, understand that there are some things you will be exceptional in you will be absolutely exceptional in. And there are other things that you will be average in. And guess what? That's okay. And then there's some things you just never be good at. That's fine. So the goal is to find your strengths. There's a book, it's called Now Discover Your Strengths. And he talks about how you spend most of your time perfecting what you're strong at. Where you become proficient, efficient. I mean, you are just excellent in that area. In the areas where you know you're going to be, okay and average in, you work to be great in them. And then there are some areas where you're never going to be good at. He says, try to become good, but don't spend most of your time trying to be good at something that you'll never be good at. You're spinning your wheels. And I think sometimes we feel like, well, if I'm not good at these things, that it's a waste. But have you discovered the thing that God gave you that you're strong in, that you're good in, and work in that area and spend the majority of your time being perfect? Well, I won't say perfect. Nobody's perfect, but being excellent in that. Because sometimes we feel like if I'm not excellent in something, might as well not do it at all. But the reality is you got those levels. I'm good in this area. I'm great in this area. So let me perfect that. I'm going to be proficient in this area. Let me be proficient in this area. I'll work on being good. In these areas where I'm never going to be good at, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'll do it, but I'm not going to spin my wheels trying to spend the majority of my day trying to be great at something that, watch this, you'll never be great at.
Yeah.
And I think one of the greatest revelations is not only discovering what you're good at, but also discovering what you're not good at. So you don't have to waste your time with the things you'll never be good in. And I think if we learn to separate those, it makes it easier to deal with life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm rambling again. Go ahead.
No, I think that's all true. I think part of it is being able to discover our own uniqueness. Because I think a lot of times when we think of what's great or good is out of comparison to what you see other people doing, instead of making it your own and excelling that way. So you might not be the greatest singer, but you're really good at writing music. So discovering, okay, I might not be quote unquote good at this, but I can still take that desire or that passion that I have and do it in my own way that's going to prosper and, do really well. So being able to think outside the box that way as well, I think is really important.
Yeah. Find your lane and work with that. A lot of us spin our wheels because we haven't found our lane yet. And sometimes it's just so obvious. Oh, the author of the book is, his name is, it's by a guy named Donald O. Clifton and Marcus Buckingham. It's two people, Donald O. Clifton and Marcus Buckingham. It's called Now Discover Your Strengths. And they actually have a series based off of this. I believe that's the first one. And then they have a couple other books that complement it. But I think the premise is find that lane, focus the majority of your energy in that. I was talking to somebody, I'm getting this book together, and I'm not a good writer. I'm a good I think I'm an okay proficient talker, but writing's not my best skill set. So I'm just kind of like, oh, I got to write this all 400, but I was like, well, let me figure out a way to do it in a way. And I was talking to somebody about it, like, why don't you just do it the way that works for you? Like you said, I'm looking at how other people are doing it rather than do it the way I can do it best. It may be different from what other people do, but it's leveraging your strengths in a certain area. Without disqualifying yourself because you're not doing it the same way that other people do it. That's how you learn to leverage your strengths and work at that. But I'm saying all that to say the problem is we often disqualify ourselves for a variety of reasons. And usually it's because we haven't found our lane or found our uniqueness within that lane. I heard a guy when we did the Kingdom Marriage class years ago. The guy said, your goal is just to get in. He's a traffic example. Your goal is just to get in traffic. And when you get in traffic, you find your niche. There could be 100 people doing the same thing as you, but there are multiple lanes. You just find your niche where a whole bunch of other people are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so instead of disqualifying ourselves, what can I do in this moment?
Yeah. I was talking to someone years ago, and it was about calendars. Like there's gobs of calendars out there that people can buy.
Mm-hmm.
So that shouldn't stop you from wanting to create your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be, even if it's just one person that's going to walk past your calendar and it's going to resonate with them. Like that's a win. So, you know, stop looking at what you feel the majority is going to like or how you can compete. I think like as long as you're passionate about it and you have the drive for it, and I think that's a big part of the equation that sometimes knocks us out. And it's easy to say, oh, because there's so much over here that I'm not even going to qualify. Maybe it's because you don't have the drive to actually do what you need to do to make it work. But anyway, you know, there's so much out there. Like as long as it's you putting your heart into it, I think that really make things take off despite the competition, quote unquote, that you might have.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna bother me.
I can tell.
Right, I know, but I saw it. But anyway, but it's learning to lean into your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Lean into them. I don't care if 40, like you said, 40 other people do it. You can have 40 people that bake cakes. You make them a little distinct and different. You know, you put your foot in it and do it the way you do it, but learning how to lean into what you need to do instead of avoiding it. Because we come up with all these excuses. Why? I don't know if we ever considered if we're making a bunch of excuses not to do something, it usually means it's important.
Yeah.
Because we often never make excuses when it comes to doing things that aren't important.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's be real here. We don't come up with every reason why we can't go to the mall, go to the movies, online shop. You know, we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We've come up with a million excuses why we can't do a certain thing, rather than figuring out how we can do it. It takes no intelligence to criticize and to figure out why you can't. It takes intelligence to figure out how you can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what God wants us to do, is start using our intelligence to figure out, how can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of this is trust. I don't have all the details. God didn't ask you to know all the details. He just wants you to start. For my overly detail-oriented people, you have a hard time following the will of God because he's not a master. He's not known to give out a lot of details. The Lord's Prayer is, give us this day our daily bread, which means he leads you and guides you often daily. I want to know what's going to happen next year. Daily. There are some things where God will show you, you know, things in the future, but he may not give you all the details to get you there, though. You just have to trust. That's why it's called a journey of faith. You have to trust him to give you daily bread. Let's take Abraham, for instance. God told Abraham, take your son up to the mountain, sacrifice him there as a burnt offering. Mm-hmm. God didn't tell him nothing about the ram in the bush. God didn't tell him nothing about the angel was going to come stop him. All Abraham knew was obey the instruction at the moment. And then as he was following the instruction, God stepped in, gave him another instruction. We want, Lord, I need to know this, and I'm going to sit back and wait until I figure out the details.
Right.
It's not how it works. As you go and as you're open, he starts revealing things to you. And what you need in that moment, he'll start revealing to you in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have to know everything to do it, you're going to have a hard time following God.
Yeah.
A challenging time.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you smiling like that?
No, it's true. I was thinking about like movies and spoilers. Like when you find out the spoiler, it makes the movie pointless. Like why bother to watch it? Because I already know what's going to happen. And I think it's that same concept that we can use with life, like allowing ourselves to just go through the journey. Because if we already knew how everything was going to end, we might not appreciate it the way, you know, that we're meant to by not knowing. So being able to have that shift in perspective, and like you said, trusting God daily and trusting that he's the author of, how our lives are going to turn out. So to have that trust in him and just enjoy the ride for the good and the bad,
Yeah. Be open to the move, the voice of God. I was talking to a friend yesterday. We were out eating dinner, and we were talking about how a lot of, like, we were talking about different revivals that were going on, etc. And I said a lot of the great moves of God weren't planned.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the Asbury one that happened a couple of years ago, and other things. It wasn't planned. It was just some happenstance thing of a normal conversation at the end of a worship service that turned into however long it lasted for. We want to create the wave rather than discovering a wave and riding that wave. All I'm trying to say is what looks like a coincidence and an accident to us is God doesn't work in coincidence. He works in providence. He works in giving direction and growth. And if we're not open to, we want to control everything. It makes us feel comfortable. We love certainty and security. And God's like, it's not, And I was like, think about it. Some of your best services, your best events didn't come on your schedule. It's just you saw something happening and you went along with it and you saw it was God doing it and you let him work.
Yeah.
But sometimes with how God does things looks like a happy accident. You just happen to be somewhere and happen to run into so-and-so. You just happen to be somewhere and so-and-so's happened. You're like, oh, that was coincidence. No, that wasn't a coincidence. That was God at work in that moment. You weren't looking for it. You were looking for something else. You went to the store to get some eggs. So-and-so's, and it just, boom, it just happens. God is so interesting. And what makes sense, because if seasons are divine events, God doesn't often announce that event.
Yeah.
The Bible just shows you Jesus coming into a city and people taking advantage of the moment. We see him entering into a certain place and people saying, hey, let me go seize this. But there wasn't this announcement that, hey, I'm coming to town, y'all, get ready. Miracle's going to break out. He's just showing up and people are just responding. And when he's there, you either jump in or you miss it. Same, and it's still like that now. He's moving and we have to get in his flow.
Yeah.
Not try to create the flow for him.
Yeah. Our reason will cause us to miss out on a lot of good opportunities to experience that, because we think we know better, or like you said earlier, like that sense of control that we need to have, that causes us to reason out of, okay, why would this happen? Or, this is going to happen next, so I'm not going to move forward, right? But instead of just allowing yourself to be open and listen to God and let him steer you to where you need to go.
Yeah.
We think we know too much.
I know, we do. Our quest for knowledge makes us like Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
I remember you said that years ago. I still cannot remember how you said it. I was like, the Lord was moving, using you that day.
Almost failed me out of class.
That was one of those coincidences. Now I'm playing. But the quest for knowledge, for control, will always lead to our demise. It's okay to seek knowledge. Nothing wrong with that. But trying to be somebody that knows it all, and trying to be God rather than trusting in God. We're supposed to seek things and seek knowledge and seek truth. So I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But when that desire to seek knowledge, if that desire is to ultimately put us on the same level of God, playing plain as God, then that's when we're not doing good.
You need to know when to stop.
Yeah, we're not him.
Nope.
And I get it. There is some security in knowing. You just want to know sometime. And God's like, it's like when you feel alone and you're like, God, just give me a sign, nothing. God's like, I need you to trust me. Not he'll give you a sign, but I need you to trust me when I don't give you one.
Yeah. Or
you don't rely on those things.
When you want it.
Yeah, when you want it, or how you want it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it may come in a way that you'll.
Scott, he said a joke yesterday about this guy who was like in a flood, And so first responders were coming like, here, let me help you. But the guy was like, no, I'm waiting for God. He's got me. He's going to send me help. Long story short, couple times people come to help him, and then finally he ends up in heaven. And God was like, look, I gave you all these things as a sign for my help, but because you're so busy looking over here and looking for things the way that you want them, expecting me to move, you missed it all.
Yep.
So we got to take ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
And I think be more receptive to how God does work in our lives instead of how we think he should.
Absolutely. We want God to crack the sky. We're like Naaman. Come expecting God to move in a certain way. And when he doesn't move that way, we miss it, get mad, and want to reject it. Because I thought we talked about last week. We want a process that matches our ego. So no, I don't want that type of help. I want you to do it this way. And God's like, hello, who's God? Me or you?
Right.
And that's when, being open and that humility, that humbleness to be able to be open to learn, that humbleness, watch this, to remember we're, as the Bible says, we're nothing but flesh. And that broken and contrite heart, right? That's not, that broken heart doesn't mean like, my heart's broke, I'm sad and crying all the time, but a humble heart to knowing my own flaws and my own brokenness, my issues, right? While at the same time knowing that I'm still loved and accepted by God. He's committed to my transformation, and being able to live in that tension of God perfecting me while I'm flawed at the same time. And that's how you have that broken and contrite heart, that I'm growing in grace, but as Noel Jones says, I'm too flawed to be flashy. I'm getting better, but yet there's a part of me that God still needs to perfect.
Yeah.
And watch this, not living self-loathing and not living in arrogance because you're growing, and not living on the flip side, like I said, in loathing because you have flaws, but living in that tension in between.
Yep.
That's where we are, humble while we're growing at the same time. It's like that thorn in the flesh. Paul's caught up in the third heavens, and he says a thorn was given to me to keep me balanced and level, to keep me praying, to keep me. And God, he doesn't answer his prayer first couple times. And then the answer he gives Paul wasn't, I'm going to keep the thorn in your life, I'm going to take it away. All he said is, my grace is sufficient for you. And my strength is perfect in weakness. You're going to be all right. Basically, God was like, no, I'm not taking it away. I'm going to give you the grace to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we think deliverance is always removal. But a lot of times deliverance is your ability to manage something. Where you have the feeling, but you learn to not let the feeling have you. You're tempted by something, but you don't allow that temptation to control you and dictate you. I wish there were some things God would take all of our temptations away, but that's not true.
Yeah.
So you may battle with some insecurities, or battle with anger, or battle with whatever, right? But you still have victory over it every day. The feeling may come up, but you don't let the feeling dominate you.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we feel like, the feeling is still there, I'm the worst person in the world. A lot of deliverance is management, y'all.
Yep.
It's being able to overcome your flesh every day. And everybody's got something to overcome every single day. Hi from Texas. How you doing?
Hey there.
Thank you all for coming on. We just sitting here ranting and raving. It's almost 12:30. We gotta get ready to go. But hope y'all learned something today. Lean in. I don't know how we got on that whole conversation about that, but it's y'all used to us by now.
For the course.
Right. Right. Continue to lean in God's grace, God's goodness. He has you. He's for you, and all will be well. So thank y'all for coming on today. We hope to see you next Monday for another Maximize Monday. Don't forget this Sunday, Bishop's anniversary, 35 years. If you're close by, come on and join us. Be in the building. As Bishop James Nelson will be with us at 11. Pastor YPJ will be with us at 6 p.m. Of course, we're blessing Bishop, sowing into his life, $100. Of course, sending the video, telling Bishop about how, he's blessed your life and how God has used him. You can scan that QR code right there. If you don't know how to do that, just go into your pictures on your phone, hold your phone up by it, your camera by it, and then boom, it'll show you what to do from there. And yeah, do that as we celebrate and as we sow. If you're distant, of course, come on and watch it. We'll have all the giving information to Bless Bishop on the screens and stuff like that, and you can be a blessing to him.
Yep.
You all have a great day. God bless you, and we'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.